everyone, and welcome to Songwriter Spotlight. We're coming to you again tonight from the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center in Brownsville, Tennessee. Thank you for joining us. We are the home of the Tina Turner Museum, the Sleepy John Estes Home, as well as the West Tennessee Music Museum. So I'm also inviting you to take a trip to Brownsville and join us someday. Tonight we are welcoming Memphis musician Mike Stovall. Mike, thank you so much for being with us this evening. We're happy to have you in Brownsville, Tennessee. Let's start this conversation with when you learned the guitar. When did you begin playing the guitar?
I took up guitar as a young boy, probably 12 years old, 10 or 12 years old. My mother bought me a guitar, but the first time I ever saw a guitar, my grandmother bought my brother a Gibson 335, a 58 model. And when I was born in 58, so, I was about 2 or 3 years old and I was fascinated with that guitar. He never picked it up and I just kind of touched it a little bit because it was big to me, but ever since then I wanted to play guitar, really. So I picked it up about 12.
When did you start writing songs?
I really started writing songs in my 20s, in my early 20s. I just started writing kind of personal songs, and my dad was sort of poetic. He wrote some poetry and some little songs. So I guess probably when I was around 20, 21, I started writing my first songs.
So what did you find inspired those first songs?
Oh, just family events and, heart things, things that cause pain and, that make you want to emote. So I think that was probably my early inspirations were maybe not too positive, but they got me writing.
You remember what the title of your first song was?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. It was called Why Daddy. And it was about, why do you hurt so bad, Daddy? My dad had a brain injury and he had, some kind of social issues a little bit, but he was a fine man and many people loved him, but that's what inspired the first song.
Well, tell me a little bit of the story behind the first song you're going to play for us this evening.
I'm going to play, I believe I said country song. And it's called Country Song because it's about, if I was going to write a country song, what would I write about? So all 3 verses are about things that I would write about if I was going to write about a country song. So they're about my family and where I live and friends and things and stories that I've heard. So that's where that one got its inspiration. All right, country song. If I was going to write a country song, I'd write about what my mama did when my daddy came home. She ran barefoot down the steps across the yard, opened that door and kissed him right there in the car. I'd write about my old grave board where I thought I found love. I'd write about old Tucker John and how he broke the law. I'd write about my tractor and plowing up the ground in a country song. A country song, in a country song. If I was gonna write a country song, I'd write about sunny southern skies and fishing in the pond. We used to say, let's go at a line. The last one there's a Rodney, let's check the trot line. I write about how a hoot owl sings a lonesome song. I write about how I love the Lord when I give him my soul. I I was gonna write a country song. I'd write about that little church where we stood arm in arm. I looked at you when you said the words I do, and I saw love and I saw light inside of you. I'd write about Massey Ferguson and 1,000 bales of hay. I'd write about mamas and lemonade on a hot summer day. I'd write about that dinner bell calling us in a country song, a country song, in a country song.
Well, you were pretty specific in that song, especially when you mentioned Massey Ferguson tractors. So did you grow up on a farm?
I grew up in Memphis, and my family bought 30 acres when I was a teenager. So I didn't grow up really on a farm growing things and having cows, but we called it the farm, and we had a Ford tractor. But Massey Ferguson just kind of worked better in the poetic aspect of it. So that's why I used that particular brand of tractor.
Well, all right. So are most of your songs country songs? Do you consider yourself a country artist?
Yeah, Americana, country, some gospel stuff too. There's a lot of gospel, thinking weaved in and out of my lyrics. And I do write some just pure kind of church music also that I've come out with. But mostly it's kind of country, really. New country, you might call it, but.
Tell me about At My House.
At My House. Well, this song is pretty much exactly what it's like at my house. You'll understand when you hear it, but it's about living in the country and all the things that go on in the country, and this is pretty much exactly the way it was at my house 20 years ago anyway. It's a little bit different now. We've got neighborhoods and houses that have kind of encroached upon our countryness, but that's what this song is about. All right, here we go. Close enough. There's 7 turtles in a cage in the living room, and 4 dogs on the porch howling at the moon at my house. Yeah, you might find a skull in the tool room by the wall with the shotgun, at my house. Rifle shells on the table and Old Glory on the wall. Mama's got a snake pinned down with a broomstick. There's a cow out back on the salt lick at my house. There's been a skunk in the yard and it sure stinks. Daddy's shooting at a can going clink clink at my house. Little shells on the table and Old Glory on the wall. By the front door to my house. And at my house you'll find love and peace like a river from above. We ain't rich, but we don't care 'cause we're free. At my house I hear a wildcat scream after midnight, and a screech owl calling in the moonlight at my house. There's a coyote pack in the side yard. I hear a shotgun blast not too far from my house. the front door of my house. And at my house you'll find love just like a river from above. We ain't rich, but we don't care, 'cause we're free at my house. At my
Well, let's talk a little bit about your songwriting process. When inspiration strikes you, are you like immediately writing it down? Are you mulling it over for a while? Do you make it a practice to write every day? How does music happen in Mike's world?
Songwriting happens in Mike's world more sporadically than it used to, but it can happen anytime. It can be, I've written songs about driving down the interstate and seeing a pretty girl in a red car, and I got a song about her license plate. And then sometimes I will dream a dream and wake up. There's one song that I wrote called Red-Headed Bird. It's kind of a country dance song. I was dreaming about a red-headed woodpecker, and I woke up and I wrote this song about a red-headed woman that I met in a grocery store and went to the rodeo with, and we hit it off. So, you know, just completely made it up. And sometimes, you know, songs are just reality and heartfelt love, loss of love, you know, things like that. So in answer to your question, I do not have a recipe. I know people that write every day have to have a recipe, but I sort of write when it hits me. It can be a dream, something happened, and a lot of times I'll see something that makes me think, and I will mull it over. And I've mulled things over for years before I finally manifested a song. So it can happen anyway with me.
Are you physically writing these things down? Are you talking them into your phone, or?
Well, now I can talk them into my phone, but back when I wrote most of this material, people didn't have cell phones. Well, they did, but they were big blocks, and they didn't have, you know, they were the old-timey ones. But I do use my recording device in my cell phone a lot, and I'll just turn a video on, and, you know, whatever I'm hearing, I'll play it real quick, you know, 20 seconds of it, and that's a great writing tool. It really is.
Does a melody come to you the same time as words, or you have to work that out later?
It comes differently. Sometimes I'll write words and then I'll go, well, all right, I'm going to sit down, and then I'll just say the words, get the rhythm of the lyrics, and then, you know, think about a chord structure, and then the melody is usually in there. Yeah, I don't usually have to look too hard for the melody.
Let's talk about Time Stands Still.
Time Stands Still is about an old flame of mine that I had loved in high school, and we went on about our lives, and she had children, and then we got together later and actually, you know, dated later. And then for whatever reason, it didn't work out. So, but it's about when we were together, you know, a lot of times time would feel like it was standing still. It's a love song. It's a song that actually occurred. I didn't make this one up.
Did this one kind of write itself then?
This one wrote itself. And, you know, when we sort of broke up or whatever, I was trying to pour out some emotion and kind of, you know, bleed it off. So that's where this one came from. Bleeding off love and lost love. I've known you more than half my life. I used to pray that you would be my wife when I was just a boy, just a lonely boy. I remember our high school days, troubled times and lonely ways. I would watch you dance, watch you make romance. But in a moment of time, we came together lots of stormy weather, and there we were. We stopped and stared as time stood still, and my love for you was greater still. And as I watched you there, time stood still. You were busy and so was I. You had your kids and your hectic life, but I loved you still, like I always will. We kept in touch and we got together, and when we kissed, it shook the heavens and time stood still, like it always will. And in a moment of time, we came together after years gone by and lots of stormy weather, and there we were. We held and kissed as time stood still, and my love for you was greater still. And as I kissed you there, time stood still. There will never be another love like you in my life. Come on, darling, won't you lay down your fears and be my wife? Now here we are, things are complicated, and through it all one thing never changed: I love you still, like I always will. Keep in touch and don't forget all the love and the nights we spent when time stood still, like it always will. And in a moment of time, we'll come together after years go by and all this stormy weather, and there we'll be. I'll hold you tight as time stands still, and my love for you will be greater still. And I'll hold you tight and make you feel alright as time stands still, as time stands still, as time stands still.
Well, I was kind of kidding about songs writing themselves, but not really. But typically, how long does it take you on a song from start to finish?
A lot of times they just pop right out. I'll come up with a lyrical concept or an idea or a visual concept, and I just start writing, and I'd say they're all basically the same formula, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, out. That's kind of, so I'll try to fit that poetic format. But like I say, some songs I've written, started, and it's taken years for me to finally finish them. I'll write most of it, and then all of a sudden, 5 years later, I'll be, light bulb will go off. Well, that's what I was looking for to finish that song. But I try to write them, try to get them going quicker than that. But it can take a while, or it can come out in 10 minutes.
Now, you've actually recorded an album in Nashville, right?
I did in the year 2000. I took 15 songs, and the guy's name at the studio, his name was Nathan. It's been so long, I wish I could think of his last name. But he had a studio in his house, and he stayed booked up. And this friend of mine who lived in Nashville and was his friend, and he called me and said, man, Nathan has got 2 days, and the artist backed out. So he's got all the best players in Nashville booked, and it's in like 10 days from now. He's like, they said they would record your project for demo rates. if he just had somebody in here, I was like, okay. So I chopped them all down in a jam box so the band leader could Nashville number them out. And he did, and I went over there, and we actually recorded 15 songs in less than 5 hours. All the players played them live. It was just bam, and they really liked my music. And it was Tammy Rogers and Doug Jernigan and George Marinelli Jr. and some of the best players in the world. I just lucked out, you might say, but we did it so fast, and the band leader just put the tape in, and we stood around in a circle, and they were like, and they'd ask me a question, and they would go, okay, we got it. And literally, most of them, they did it one pass, one take. Maybe the bass player would go, let me fix that. But it was the most miraculous recording session I've ever heard of. So anyway, and then I went back the next day and did some stuff myself, but those people did it in less than 5 hours. It was fantastic, miraculous.
So was that a CD or?
It was a CD. That's it right there. I'm gonna grab it. Excuse me. Mike Stovall, Living in the Country. That's it. The title track was Living in the Country, and you can find that video on YouTube.
Well, while we're talking about that, let's talk about how people can find more of your music and more about you online.
You can find Mike Stovall Music at Facebook. Is a page that I have not developed a lot of, but it's there. And then Mike Stovall, Living in the Country on YouTube. You can find the title track of my album that I recorded years ago in Nashville. And I just started a publishing company, Mike Stovall Music Publishing. And I've got MikeStovallMusic.com that I'm just about to build out. I wasn't quite ready with all that stuff when you asked me this, but MikeStovallMusic.com will be able to be found soon, and Mike Stovall Music Publishing. But I am on Facebook, Mike Stovall Music at Facebook.
Will they be able to buy that CD once your website's built out?
They will be able to buy it. I'm going to reformat it. I'm going to take a few songs off of there that are not quite up to what I would like them to be, but there will be about 10 songs on it.
All right.
I've sold quite a few of them at live shows. I played a lot on the Gulf Coast when I released the album and sold them, and I gave quite a few away and sold them at my live shows. And I'm getting ready to get another run published and hopefully do another little Gulf Coast tour this summer.
What's the next song you're going to play for us?
So Love, Passion, and Fire is a song about an old flame, and you'll understand. All right, here we go. Love, Passion, and Fire. She wears gold and I wear silver. She's got kids and I've got dogs. She's real quiet and I'm half crazy. She lives in the city, I live in the bog. But when we come together in a lover's embrace, all our differences fade away. When we meet in the middle and the fire gets hot, the whole damn world is what we got. Love, passion, and fire. Yeah, we got the kind of love takes you higher and higher. Love, passion, and fire. When we get together and the fire gets hot, the whole damn world's what we got. Love, passion, and fire. Yeah, her skin's real white, mine's Indian red. I'm up all night, she's early in bed. She likes to cook and I like to go out. She's gonna purr and I'm gonna shout. But when we come together in a lover's embrace, all our differences fade away. When we meet in the middle, the fire gets hot, the whole wide lovers embrace. All hot differences are faded away when we meet in the middle and the fire gets hot. The whole wide world wants what we got. The whole damn world wants what we got. We got love, passion, and fire. And we got the kind of love takes you higher and higher. Love, passion, and fire. But when we get together, the fire gets hot. The whole wide world wants what we got. Love, passion, and fire. Love, passion, and fire. Love, passion, and fire.
Well, thank y'all so much for joining us this evening. I hope that you've enjoyed Mike and you will check him out on Facebook and some of his other sites. And please plan to join us again in 2 weeks when we will spotlight another singer-songwriter. Mike, thank you so much for being here with us this evening. I've enjoyed your music and enjoyed having you here. So how about telling me a little bit about Baby Girl and play us out with that song?
Baby Girl is it's kind of a ballad, and I wrote it about a girlfriend that I had in the 2000s who had MS, and she was struggling with all this stuff and her ex and this and that, and you know, I was more of just a friend to her pretty much than anything else, but I wrote this song about her. But it's important to me now because I just lost my parents over the last couple of years. They were 97, and I took care of them both and was with them both when they passed away at home. And I was sitting with Mother, so I was singing this song to her when she died. And it took on a whole new kind of meaning to me, and I believe it helped her to cross the Rainbow Bridge, this song did. And I think you'll understand when I play it, but it's become a very important song to me. Right. The song is Baby Girl. There she lays on her pillow, silently sleeping. Her heart, heaven is keeping. She's dreaming of a love not of this world. A love that would never leave her lonely. She'd always be his one and only girl. Two hearts to beat as one. She's a baby girl in the arms of heaven. Baby girl whose heart is healing. It's been broken so badly before. She's a baby girl and she's gonna win. Find the heart of a special friend and a river of life to flow from heaven's door. You know her heart's been broken time and again. You know someday she'll try again, but this time she's doing it right. She's gonna take her time to say her prayers, find herself a man that cares, someone to hold her through the dark, dark night. She's a baby girl